Anger does not announce itself. It builds quietly. It starts as tension, then impatience, then reaction. By the time you notice it, control is already gone. Most people think anger is a reaction to something outside of them. A word, a look, a situation that crossed the line. But anger does not begin there. It begins inside. It begins when expectations collide with reality. When things do not go the way you want. When people do not behave the way you imagined. The moment reality refuses to obey you. Anger steps in, not to protect you, but to give the illusion of control. You feel tension in the body. The breath shortens. The mind narrows. And suddenly, everything feels personal. A small inconvenience feels like disrespect. A simple disagreement feels like an attack. This is the danger of anger. It shrinks perception. It convinces you that reaction is necessary, that silence is weakness, that restraint is submission. But look closely. When anger takes control, you stop seeing clearly. You stop listening. You stop choosing. You are no longer acting. You are being driven. And most people never notice the moment it happens. They only notice the damage afterward. The broken conversation. The regretful words. The distance created. Anger never solves the problem in front of you. It only creates a new one inside you. Most people believe anger is justified. They believe it protects them. That it sets boundaries. That it proves strength. This belief feels convincing. But it is false. Anger does not protect discipline. It destroys it. The illusion is subtle. When you feel angry, you feel powerful for a moment. Your body tightens. Your voice hardens. Your mind narrows. It feels like control. But what you are experiencing is not power. It is surrender. Surrender to impulse. Surrender to emotion. Surrender to the part of you that reacts without thought. If anger were strength, it would leave you clearer, more precise, more deliberate. But it never does. Anger leaves confusion, regret, words that cannot be taken back. The truth is simple. Anger is not an action. It is a loss of command. The moment anger leads, reason steps aside. And without reason, discipline collapses. The Stoics understood this. They did not see anger as a force to release. They saw it as a signal of failed judgment. Not something to express, but something to examine. The illusion breaks when you realize this. Anger is not something you use. It is something you prevent. Not by suppression, but by training the mind before the moment arrives. Once the illusion falls, responsibility becomes unavoidable. No one makes you angry. No situation forces it. Anger enters only when you allow it. This is difficult to accept, because responsibility removes comfort. It means you cannot blame tone. You cannot blame disrespect. You cannot blame pressure. The moment you say, "They made me angry," you surrender command of your mind. Anger is not triggered. It is chosen. Chosen when judgment fails. Chosen when expectation turns rigid. Chosen when ego demands obedience from reality. Responsibility means seeing this clearly. It means understanding that every angry reaction is a decision you made too quickly. Pressure does not create anger. It reveals how prepared you are. If discipline were strong, anger would not pass through unchecked. The Stoics were uncompromising here. They believed that losing control was not a flaw of emotion, but a failure of training. Responsibility demands something uncomfortable. Pause before response. Examination before expression. Silence before speech. Most people refuse this discipline because it feels like restraint. But restraint is not weakness. It is authority. When you accept responsibility for anger, you stop negotiating with it. You stop justifying it. You begin preventing it. And prevention is where true control begins. Stoic philosophy treats anger as a failure of judgment, not a force of nature, not an uncontrollable instinct. The Stoics believed anger appears only after a decision is made. The decision that something should not have happened. The decision that reality must obey your expectations. This is where discipline begins. Stoic training does not wait for anger to rise. It works before the moment arrives. It trains perception. It trains judgment. It trains restraint. The Stoics practiced asking one question repeatedly. Is this within my control? If it is not, anger has no purpose. They understood that anger never corrects reality. It only distorts it. This is why Stoic discipline emphasizes delay, not suppression. Delay creates distance. Distance restores judgment. A trained mind does not rush to react. It observes. It evaluates. It chooses. This is the Stoic response to anger. Not expression. Not release. But command. Command over speech. Command over action. Command over the inner state. When this foundation is practiced daily, anger loses its speed, its urgency, its authority. It may still appear, but it no longer decides. When anger no longer decides for you, your inner world begins to change. Not dramatically, not all at once, quietly. You notice the first shift. The pause arrives earlier, before the words escape, before the tone hardens. You feel the tension, but you do not obey it. You let the moment pass, and nothing collapses. The situation remains. The person remains, but you remain in command. This is the transformation. You stop wasting energy on reactions. You conserve strength for action. You choose silence when silence is power. You choose speech when speech is necessary. Anger no longer fuels you. It no longer drains you. It informs you. And then it steps aside. Over time, this discipline becomes natural. You are calm under provocation, clear under pressure, steady when others lose control. Not because you suppress emotion, but because you train judgment. This is what Stoic strength looks like. Invisible, consistent, reliable. And once anger loses its authority, everything else follows. Anger is never the source of strength. Discipline is. When anger no longer leads, clarity returns. Control returns. But anger is only one battlefield. The next struggle is reaction itself. The habit of responding before thinking. In the next video, you will learn how to stop reacting and begin choosing. Stay steady and continue the training. Anger is not the final problem. It is only the first symptom. Even when anger fades, most people are still trapped by reaction. Responding without thinking. Speaking without choosing. Acting before awareness. That is the real habit that controls a life. In the next video, we go deeper. How to stop reacting and start choosing deliberately. Watch it next and continue the training.